Now what do I do? Just wait.
No, you're live now, mate. You actually are. Right, everybody, welcome to Hair Socials, another one live, number 22, I think it is tonight, with me, Simon Townley, but more importantly with our guest host tonight, which is Kymbereley Holmes. Where are you based, Kim?
Hi everybody, so my name's Kymbereley and I'm based in a salon in Leeds called Tint. Today I'm going to be showing you two hair looks, one being a 90s split inspired hairstyle, and then we're going to go in for a floral crown shade, so that's going to work really well. So I've already prepped the hair first with full volume reish, which is this one. I've put it in root to tips on wet hair. It's really sticky when it's wet, so a good product to use with this is Play, and that's going to dilute it down if you feel like you've put a bit too much product in there, just so it softens up throughout the hair. And then it's quite time consuming, so it can take about 45 minutes to dry in. So I've just worked that all in the hair. Prep's really important when you've got photo shoots, because you've got to think of heavy lighting and the spotlights. You're just going to see everything, so that's really important, just to get that all nice and neat. So what I've done already is I've just sectioned the hair off into a nice sweeping bang, and then I've just used these clips in, so they're not going to leave any marks in the hair. These are really great just for if they're having the makeup done and you don't want to leave any marks in there. So it's just going to keep it nice and neat away from the face. I've then gone in and just done, just turn to the side a little, thank you. I've just gone in and done a little bit of a half up ponytail, because what I'm going to be doing is a really high pony throughout the hair. And what I like to do is, because there's a lot of hair to work with, I do it in two separate ponytails. That way I'm going to get it much more neater and really structured throughout the hair there. Thank you. So what I'm going to be doing now is working on this back section and getting it really super tight. So a key thing to do when doing a ponytail is always make sure your client's or your model's head is tilted up. That way you're going to get it much tighter and nice and neat into the nape there. If you find that you're thinking it's looking tight and then they put the head forward, that way it's going to create a little bit of bag throughout there, and then it's not going to be as neat and structured as you want it. So what I'm going to do now is just going to section this ponytail out of the way. I'm going to be working throughout the back. Yeah, of course. To the side. Perfect. So I'm going to be using the medium styling Denman brush. This has got a mixture of two bristles, so it's got a natural bristle and a nylon. So this is really good for hair ups, because you're going to get a lot of shine with that, and then it's going to stop the static in the hair. So a good tip, what I like to do is get a little bit of hairspray, just spritz it on the bristles like this, and that's going to give you more control and structure. So make sure your model's head's tipped right up. Perfect. What I'm going to be doing to secure that in as well is using an elastic band. These are really great because you're going to get a lot of tension throughout the hair. Sometimes I like to use a bungee cord, which is this one, or elastic you can use also as well, but today I'm going to go for an elastic just because she's got a lot of hair, but it's not too thick. But these are really great if you've got a lot of thick hair, because you can get a really tight structured hairstyle with that. So just tip right up, thank you. So I'm just going to be working this throughout the hair now and just getting it really nice and tight. You see that okay? All good?
Yeah, all good. How beautiful is her hair, by the way?
This is my sister as well, everybody. She's kindly stepped in to model for me. We managed to get her to escape her bedroom and come down here for me.
We have a comment from Becca Coleman.
Oh, hi, Becca.
saying James and Lacey are watching. James says Auntie Kim is famous.
Oh, bless him. That's cute. So, yeah, so just going to get this really nice and structured and tight. You can spray it as well, the product just onto the root.
Whenever I do hair ups, I have to use them bungee elastics because I can't get the tension, because my fingers are a bit bendy with my brittle bones.
Yeah.
I find it's such a good tool for me and my fingers, and I presume anybody who's sort of like fumbling with their fingers, they might find this an innovation really for them.
Yeah, they're great. You can get them from Salons Direct, Sally's. A lot of places have them now. There's so many different brands as well, but they all do the same trick. So I'm just going over my tail comb now as well, just to get any little lumps or bumps out of there as well, just working that in. And then I'm just going to repeat that on this side as well. I love how the comb matches your outfit. Like we're all coordinated. But these are really good combs as well because it minimises static as well. So it just gets it really nice and smooth. And then what you want to do when you're happy with that and it's nice and neat, you want to work the two ponytails together. So I'm just going to grab this little section. And then you want to incorporate that into there. I find this a really good trick because I think ponytails are one of the hardest styles to do on hair ups because you're working against gravity. And I can never get the angle right. So I just found that two ponytails work a lot better for me.
You've got quite a lot tuned into you now, Kim, if you want to just give maybe a recap to the newcomers that have come in, how you prep the hair, etc.
Hi everybody. So first what I've done is prep the hair with Volume Riche Full Volume. And what I've done is I've done that root to tips throughout the hair. And I've dried that all in. Sometimes it can be a little bit sticky, so what I like to do is go in with some Plea. And what that does is it just dilutes it down a little bit. It's a bit time consuming, so it can take about 45 minutes to dry it in. But the prep is the key product because when you're under heavy lighting and things like that, it's got to last. And then you've got the foundation then to switch it up as well throughout the hair. And this is a product that I'm using. It's a Sam McKnight multi product. So it's great for flyaways. It's great for hold, frizz, and it's also got a little bit of protection in there throughout the heat. I really like his products because they're nice and workable and they're not too heavy on the hair. So great again for photo shoots. So if you feel like you've got too much, it's really workable just to comb it out. What's everybody's thoughts on hair up? Is everybody confident? Do they do much hair up in the salon or photo shoots, or is it something that you want to get into?
Yeah, it's a good question. That I mean, I don't do much hair up in the salon, but as you know, I do photo shoots, and that's probably the only time I actually do any hair up. Which it's not the best really, because then you're going in a bit cold, aren't you? You kind of need to be doing hair up consistently to master this.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a shame with everything going on at the minute with proms and things because that's all a really good time to practice proms because I feel like they literally have anything goes now, which is really good. So what I'm going to be doing now is, this is what I like to call a detailing brush. It's like a bamboo toothbrush. So this is really good for all the little flyaways and edges, like little baby hairs back here. So if you want to get a really nice, clean, sharp hairline, what I like to do is, this is my favourite hairspray for that. It's glued and it's super strong. So I just like to just spritz it on the brush. And then I just go over so any little baby hairs that I can see, just to get it really nice and neat. And if you notice as well, just turn you a little bit, what you should always do with a ponytail, if you match the cheekbones to where that's where the ponytail should sit, so you get that really sharp, fierce look. and then also with the eyeline as well, so where it should sweep back, and you get a really nice clean finish there.
It's funny you say
And
that.
then
Michael Convey's just commented, look at those cheekbones.
she's blessed with everything. She gets the hair, she gets the cheekbones, just like the ugly sister here. It's not fair.
We've got a couple of comments. Michelle Wilson says, I do hair up but don't have the patience if it doesn't go right.
All it is just practice. That's all I do. I'm forever getting my sister, and she's cursing me, saying, please can I practice this? Please can I do this? But I'm always brighter. She always gets her hair coloured or a cut out of it, so it's all good.
Claire Daniels has said she completely shies away from hair up but would love to master it, and then a few have said that they do hair up but don't do any photo shoots.
No, it's something that you should really get into, and even just get a dolly's head and just practice loads. For me, I'm really lucky, like with the photo shoots and stuff I get to do. But all I do is I just go on Instagram, look at local hashtags. So I'll always look at Leeds models, see who are shooting and doing, what photographers are out there, what makeup artists, and I literally just contact them and say, I really love your work, and if ever you need a hairstylist, I'd love to be involved. And they're always really up for that. And you've got to give your services for free, but at the end of the day, we're all getting something out of it. And it's really good then, because if you've done them a favour, they're going to help you later. So if you've got like L'Oreal Colour Trophy coming up or British Hairdressing Awards, they'll more than happily help you because you've done the same for them, which is really good.
I have a small salon in Burnley, and anyone who's watching this that has a small salon, we're all our own photographers now. We have Instagram, we have, just buy yourself a camera, have a play with it. Mobile phones are pretty good these days. But yeah. I agree with you on the modelling. So what I've done with my staff is I've said to them that they can each have one ambassador a year who they want to represent their hair. So something that speaks volumes about their hair, whether it be their colour or the pin-ups, like you said, that your sister's hair would be stunning for anyone who wants to do pin-ups. And that is, they get their hair for a heavily discount or free, and but they get it all year to advertise for you.
Yeah, definitely. So what I'm going to do now is, you can see her ponytails. She's got a little bit of height, but there's not much there. It's looking a little bit sad. So how we're just going to boost that is, if you get an elastic and you want to go about half an inch from where you've put the elastic in already. I just want to make sure there's no tangles in there before I do this as well. Perfect. So yeah, you just want to work that in about half an inch, and what that's going to do, it's just going to give it a little bit of lift. This is a really good trick as well if your model or client hasn't got very much hair. So you can go in with an extension, and then that's going to give it a really good base just to secure it in. So you can see already, just by doing that, how much lift we've got throughout that. And it's just, just give it a really nice bounce. Another really good thing as well, sometimes what I like to do is, if I go to Hobbycraft, and then I'll get like holographic tape and fancy tape and wrap that around as well, so it can act as like a really nice bobble, but then because it's really stiff, you're going to get maximum height and volume throughout there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get a small bit of hair from the underneath, just because we want to hide that bobble. This is going to make it a lot more high fashion, and it's just going to just blend that. So what I like to do is just get a little bit of hair, get the glued hairspray again, and just work that all on there. Comb it through root to tips. Just put a little bit more just throughout them ends because they're a little bit fluffy. Is this angle okay? Everyone still see it all right?
Yeah, really good. I'll just read out. Someone's put, "Hey up, Kim, like ponytail Viagra, that trick."
What Matthew was it?
For some reason, it's not showing me the name on the system that I'm using. It sometimes does that. Bethany Willoughby said, definitely will be trying to use that trick in the future. Francesca Celeste has put, love that tip, never tried it. Alex Watkins, superstar, looking so good already. And you are past the
thank you.
and you're past the 120 mark on the live viewers, so well done, mate.
Amazing. Brilliant. Well, I hope you're all enjoying it. I hope you're all learning stuff. If there's anything else like you want to know, just feel free to ask some questions and stuff. So what I'm going to do now is, now I've worked that all around, I'm just going to get my hairdryer. Just spray it a little bit more just so it's nice and secure. Just going to get my head. Fancy. So I'm just going to get my hairdryer and I'm just going to lock that into place. And what this is going to do is just set the hairspray in the hair, so there's no need to use any grips, because sometimes it's really hard when you use a grip because it can stick out, or you've got to use a lot more, and then you just don't want to see it on the camera. So I'm just going to work this in.
While Kim dries that hair, I will give you a bit of an insight as to what's coming up next week. We have another 3-week lockdown. Don't worry, I'm just telling everybody. We've basically got another 3 weeks ahead of us in the lockdown. So next week, I have not announced it yet, but we do have Winning Ways, which is 2 of really successful salons that come together and basically share tips on salon management and business, and basically motivate as well. But I'll announce more of that later, but that's really good for the sort of like the next 3 weeks lockdown, and now we can sort of venture to ourselves. But back to Kim anyway.
So you can see how it's secured that nice and stiff now. So what that's going to do is just give it a really nice high fashion finish. It's hid all the bobbles as well. But with this stuff, it is so good. It's literally not going to budge. I don't know how I'm going to show you the second look, because it might not move from this style down. So I'm going to spin you just to face the front. So what I'm going to do now is just work on this front section. I'm loving this at the minute. It's very 90s inspired. So I'm just going to get the straightness, just get a really glass-like finish throughout there, and just sweep that around. Is anybody having a lot of clients having 90s hair at the minute? We've got like the rogue streaks, like a lot of heavy bangs as well and stuff.
Yeah, the money piece seems to be a flash from the past, doesn't it? It's I think we're getting to that age now where we're seeing things come back to us.
Yeah, this is what has inspired me, because I've actually lived through an era now that I've seen come back around, and she's coming downstairs and things where I think, oh my god, I used to wear that. It's crazy. Right, so I'm just going to go section by section now and just give it a nice sleek finish. What I've done as well is I've just took a small triangle section throughout there. You don't want to have too much hair throughout there, because it's just going to fall a bit heavy and flat, and you want to get as much hair in the ponytail just so you've got maximum volume and height throughout there. So we'll just section this off.
Alex Watkins has asked, Watkin has asked, do you have a favourite brand that you use in and out of your salon?
I do tend to use a lot of L'Oreal Professional, but I do really like the Sam McKnight products, and I also really like Bedhead as well. But if I try something and I really like it, I'll just tend to use it more. But I think the most important thing is just using the right products for the prep, and for that I'll always use L'Oreal. Definitely Plee. I think that's everyone's favourite. And the Volume Riche mousse as well, because I think a lot of people get scared by mousses because they can be quite sticky and heavy, but the beauty of that is you can just use the Plee and it'll dilute it down.
Laura Saunders has asked, what is your inspiration for this look? Love it.
Oh, my inspiration. So I was inspired by this look because I've seen it a lot on a lot of the models like Bella Hadid, Hailey Bieber. I've been seeing a lot of hairstylist as well, recreating on a lot of celebrities as well. So I just thought I'd give it a go because I've been wanting to do it for quite a while, and with the lockdown, I ain't really had the opportunity to do any photo shoots. So I thought, what a better chance to try it on my sister and showcase it to you guys.
Yeah, well, it looks great. Tracy Dunbar just asked a favour. She said, could your models tilt her head forward so we can see the triangular section?
Yep, so it's just gone on a little bit of an angle there. What I've done as well, I've just softened it a little bit so it's not too much of a straight line because you don't want it to be too severe. So it's almost like it goes straight and then on a little bit of an angle, almost like a tiny zigzag throughout there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use the Sam McKnight again. I'm just going to work this just through that fringe. And then just using the Denman brush just to give it a really nice secure grip throughout there. Also, if you see any little flyaways, again, a good trick, just go over with the detailing brush. And that's just going to get rid of these, just to get it nice and secure.
Ryan Euler has said, do you ever take different ideas from different pictures and then put it all together to come up with something unique?
Yeah, because I don't want to really look at someone's work and think, oh, I'm going to try that. I'll always try and do my own spin on it. A lot of people that know me love how much I love glitter, and usually everything is covered in sparkle. So I like to do my own interpretation of things. But I thought, let's be different today and not use glitter because that's so predictable of Kymbereley.
I think people might want to see the glitter today. I think you're underestimating people.
I have got some glitter, you know, on this trolley.
Crystal's face just dropped then, thinking, Christ, I'm going to have a shower now after this.
That's it. That's it. Do you know the amount of times that she's wrecked my car because I put glitter in her hair?
I wrecked it.
So I'm just going to get these little baby hairs now. I'm just going to get the glue hairspray again. So what I'm going to do is just spray it on the end of the tail comb, and that's just going to give it a much better way just to get any little flyaway throughout there.
People are saying, glitter queen, bring on the glitter Kymbereley, love glitter. These are comments coming in as we speak.
Great. I don't mind glitter, you know, I'm cool with that. It's just glitter queen. So what I've done as well is that little bit of the fringe at the back. Just turn to the side. I'm just gonna pin this out of the way there. So you can do a little bit of a twist, and that's just going to blend it throughout there. But because this hair's going to be sitting over the top, you're not going to see it, so it's going to blend in perfect. So I'm just going to get my Kirby grip and do an upward motion just to secure it in place there.
Joe Ferns Aston has said, girl, that hair is going to last until the end of lockdown.
Great. It will with this glue spray. It's so good. Right, and spin other side. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is, just to give it that really nice 90s inspiration, I'm just going to use my straighteners, and I'm just going to do a bit of a bend on the end. So I'm just going to smooth it over, and then I'm going to do a really nice flick just to give it a little bit of a bounce. It's almost like a bit of a Barbie inspired ponytail as well, because you always see the dolls that have got that really nice flick and bounce throughout the ends there. Just hide that a little bit. Anyone got any more questions or anything?
Yeah, no questions coming in. You're doing a great job. Everyone's just saying beautiful, beautiful, looks amazing, love it, hands up emojis, love hands emojis. They're all coming on. But yeah, not many questions. I'm intrigued. You're going to take this into sections, did you say, and then flick it out, or are you going to do it as a piece?
No, I'm just going to do it into sections because I find it works better. I've tried it before, like doing it on my own hair, like one block piece. I just feel like you don't get the effect as good. So I'm just gonna probably split it into 3 sections, because although there is a lot of it, it's not like the thickest hair. So I'm just gonna pin that away, just that little bit there. So I'm just gonna slowly just go down the ponytail. Let's use this side. And then when I
Go on, Sarah.
when I get to the end, I'm just going to start to turn it almost into like a C motion. So this way it's just going to give it a really nice bounce. You can just see that just coming round a little bit now. I've just curled that a bit too much, so I'm just going to do it a little bit softer.
Got a few questions rolling in now while you repeat that in sections.
Yeah.
Alex Watkin, what is your favourite moment in your hairdressing career? That's a question I was going to ask later, but I'll let you have that, Alex.
Definitely being on the ID team. It was so fun. Like the education that we got, the people we got to meet, and it was just a great opportunity to do. So I definitely say the ID team. Yeah, it was fab. You know yourself how good it was.
Yeah, well, it was unbelievable, wasn't it? It was more the opportunity that you get from it more than anything I took out of it. I just made sure I took every opportunity that we got, because we got a lot, didn't we?
Yeah, it was fab, and definitely like the chance to get taken to Barcelona, so cool. But some of the talent that taught us as well, like there was some amazing ones. I think the most memorable thing for me was when Luke Puckros did a demo for us all, and then he was like, what did he do? He got the hair, and then he was like, if you've got a client and they say, if you could do anything, what would you do? And then he just straight whacked the ponytail off, and all our face, and then just chucked it in the crowd and all our face, and we were like, what?
Just to put it into context for people watching who didn't see that, the hair was similar to your model Crystal's. It was so long, and he just lobbed it off in one. Interestingly, that brings me nicely onto another announcement. You're getting them all out of me here. I usually do this over social media posts, but Luke Pluckrose has actually agreed to do a live for us next week.
Oh my god! He's the man. He's definitely the one to be watching, especially for session hair and stuff. His work is unreal, so cool. But I mean, there's some amazing session artists out there. There's just unbelievable hairdressing talent now.
Yeah, there's definitely a few.
I feel like it's really hard now, because the standard of work that people do is just amazing. So what I've done now is I've just done a little flick just throughout the ends there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray it over with this hairspray. And then what you can do is get the shape of the tin and wrap that around, just so it's going to give it a nice bit of shape. And then it's just going to secure that in place and just lock it all together to give it a really nice springy bounce at the ends. You can do this with waves as well, which is good. You know, if you want to do the Marcel waves, and you just go through it, and it just gives it a nice, almost S sort of like indentation. And see how it's just like locks it all together. And what else we could do as well, a little bit of back brushing, so it's just going to fill it out a little bit more. So I like to do this just to give it a bit more oomph. So what you can do is always like C motions and just work that in the ponytail. So just sort of, you want to go like this and just work it in. Just do a few C's just underneath there. And you can see already how it's just give it a little bit of volume, but then you just gently tease it out. So it's just got a little bit of like oomph in there, but not too much. That's better. And then when you spin round to the front, you've got to think of all angles. So with the photo shoot, so you can either have it coming round the back, or you could get it forward and then just flick it on these sides as well.
It's really important, isn't it, the attention to detail in photos, because it's often, myself mainly, I'll take a photo and then it's bizarre that you can't see it with your eyes, and as soon as you see it blown up on your computer, everything just stands out, doesn't it? So the detail is so important.
Any flyaways, anything like that. You've got to be always on the ball with photo shoots and stuff, because if there's something you're not happy with, you've got to step in there, because if you ask the photographer to do it on post-production, they're not going to do it, because it's going to be the bane of their life, because just the tiny little flyaway hairs like that, they take hours, and they're not going to be doing it, so you've got to be really on it. Like if I see anything, at first I used to be really shy and used to be like, oh no, but then at the end of the day it's me doing the hair, so I have to. But I think now I'm just annoying because I'm just like, whoa. But it's got to be done. So what you can do is you can have it like this. If you want to get a little bit more fuller, you can just piece it out with your hands. And then just work that in there as well. You can also get like a bit of a dry shampoo and just give it a little bit more texture if you want it a little bit more fuller. But I feel like this works quite well, really, because she's got the hair to work with. Perfect. And then I'm just going to go over with my detailing brush again. So if I can see any flyaway hair, so I can just see this is starting to separate a little bit. So I'm just going to go over with that.
When you have a client coming into your salon, Ryan Oola's asked that. It's a good question, to be fair. Do you ever recommend washing their hair the day before, or does it not bother you?
Yeah, definitely. So I always, like wedding hair put-ups, anything like that, I always suggest shampoo the hair the day before, and the most tiniest amount of conditioner. If they've got a fringe, I always say shampoo that on the day, because some people get a bit funny about an oily fringe. Some people, like, if you say, oh, can you wash it the night before, they don't like the sound of that. And I'm like, honestly, it will last so much better because you've got the grit in the hair. So when it's got that little bit more guts and grit, it's just going to last. And it's more pliable to work with as well. Whereas when it's soft, it's no good, really. Even for like the hold as well of curls, just putting the right product into there just to give it that oomph, just going to make it more workable. So yeah, good question.
Yeah, good question. Joe Ashton has said, I love hair up, but I found that mine can look a little dated, which puts me off them. How do you find inspiration for different styles? And probably, I guess she's asking as well, out for more up-to-date styles.
So a really good app that I use is Vogue Runway. It's got all the latest shows you can search from this season to last season. It's got every designer on there, so I always look at that to keep ahead of the trends. And it does like a beauty column, a review column, and a description. So it'll tell you the inspiration, the theme behind it, and stuff like that. And just taking away different ideas from the shows, and then you can sort of bring that back to the salon, but do your own interpretation on it, because there's not a lot of people that are going to want this for their everyday look, but you can just suggest to your clients, it's a Friday, why don't we try something different? And you'll find that your clients will actually really like that, because if you don't suggest new things to them, they just might be like, oh yeah, that's fine. And it's good if they're not going anywhere, because they can just try it as well, because they don't want a style that they can recreate at home. So yeah, Pinterest. Pardon?
We've got some more questions. There's been a few questions while we've been chatting. I've missed them all here. I'm trying to go down the list now. Sharon Wright's joined in saying hello.
Hi, Sharon.
Nicola
She did an amazing live.
Yeah, she did. It was a good one. It was very detailed, very structured, very educated, and that's what she is. So I didn't expect anything less. Nicola Saul, it's like a film star hair, beautiful. Who else have we got here? Katie Fallon. I always try to get my clients to do that, but can't. But can be a. Hang on a minute. Let me read that one again. I always try to get my clients to do that. It can be a real battle, though. I presume something about the day before washing things.
I know that I do struggle with it, and especially with weddings, sometimes people can be a bit funny. But I'll just say to them, because when I always do a trial, They always wash it on the day, and they can see how different it is to when they don't wash it. Because sometimes on the day they'll be like, oh, it's so much better, and I'll be like, I told you. So it's just you sort of having that confidence to tell them, really. I know it can be hard because everyone's hair is different. Some are a little bit more oily than others. And even if they do have to shampoo it on the day, just work. Like, I really love dry shampoo. I just feel like it gives it a really nice grating texture to the hair, and it's just going to secure it more in place. But it is always better second day hair. So I'm just going to run a little bit of a gloss shine spray through. So I'm just going to use the head brush. I really like this because it's super lightweight, and it just smells gorgeous as well. So clients really like that. So it's an added bonus of both. So I'm just going to spritz this over. And then I'm just going to turn to the side again. Lovely, spin it back, thank you. So just to recap everything that I've done. So I prepped the hair, shampooed it twice, a little bit of conditioner just throughout the ends. We did that yesterday, so it's second day hair. We've then gone in with the full volume Riche L'Oreal Mousse, root to tips, worked that in. It can be a little bit sticky, so what I like to do is just run a little bit of play throughout there. And what that's going to do is just dilute it down so it's not as sticky. Dried that in. It took about 45 minutes to dry it in. When you dry it in, you do think, oh God, I've put too much in. But then once you get brushing and drying, you won't think that there's any product in the hair because it works really well. What I've then done is I've just sectioned this front bit off and just took a bit of a diamond section throughout there and just clipped that away. What I like to do with my ponytails, because I find you're working against gravity, so to get a really high ponytail, it can be quite hard. So what I like to do is just split into two sections. I always line the cheekbone with where the ponytail should sit. That way it's going to get a lot more fierce and sharper. So I did that into one ponytail, and then I've worked in the back as well. And a really good tip is always make sure your client's head is tilted forward. Just that way you're not going to get any root drag, so it's going to be really nice and secure throughout there. Because if they was to tip their head back just normal, you're going to get more volume and drag throughout there, so it's just going to keep it really nice and tight just by tilting the head that little bit.
That's a good tip.
And then what I did was just got a little bit of hair from the underneath, sprayed that with the Got To Be hairspray, which is really lovely and strong, and then just wrapped that around. Oh no, we forgot the second bobble technique. So once we got that bobble in, we worked a second elastic in there, 1/2 inch from the root, and what that's done is just give it that height throughout there, so it's give it a really nice bounce. Then we wrap the hair around it just to hide that and secure it into place. And then I've just got my straighteners, ran over it, and then I've just done a little bit of a bend just throughout the end there, just to give it like a really nice 90s vibe. And then if we brush it forward in the back, you just get a really nice glam finish just throughout there. So hope you've liked it. If you've got any more questions or anything on this one, just pop them through. But in a minute, I'm just going to take it all out, and then I'm going to do the second look. So,
awesome. So, no, there's no questions come through at the minute. But while you undress that, why don't you tell us about your career? Because you said you work at Tint Hairdressers at the minute.
Yes. So I've worked at Tint for about 2.5 years now. I love it. It's a great team to work with. It's great aligning myself with such talented individuals, and we've got an art team, and we all bounce off one another. And it's great because we're self-employed, and a lot of people think being self-employed, you're just by yourself and you just have to do everything. But this is a salon where we all work together as a team, and we do a lot of competitions and education. So it's got the best of both worlds, really. But I love it, and I'm just really happy there. So yeah, it's fab.
Becca Coleman says, you always do a fabulous job, Kimberly. Can't wait for the next look.
Oh, thanks so much. So I hope you've enjoyed this first look, and I've really enjoyed creating it for you all. I hope you've all learned something with the little tips and tricks for out there as well. I just thought I'd go for a ponytail because a ponytail is a classic look. It's just, I think it's the most fiercest, and I feel like when your hair's like this, you're going to feel a lot more confident as well. So your model or your client is just going to rock that look. And there's always little things that you can change. So you could change maybe having a parting into like a bit of a quiff. You could do a braid and wrap that around as well. So it's good to sort of learn from this and think, how can I switch it up a little bit? Even another good trend at the minute is hair accessories. So you've got a lot of like scrunchies, beads, like things like that. And what I like to do is go to Hobbycraft, and I'm always buying like pearls and beads and stuff. And you could even like work some pearls and stuff in here. A good tip is if you get eyelash glue and then stick them to the hair, and that can be a really dramatic look. So if you are doing a shoot and you've got this look and then you want to switch it up, you can go for some hair embellishment as well in there. So yeah. So I'm going to take this down now. Hopefully it won't last till the end of lockdown. Don't know who said that, but probably will know my look. My look. Right,
While,
so
while you take that down, would you want me to ask you some questions that have come through?
Yeah.
We have would love to see you do some hair up with short hair. That's from Danny Walton. So I think that's a challenge that you should accept in the next couple of weeks. Maybe get a doll with some shorter hair. Yvonne, I'm not going to try the last name. Sorry. You're a great teacher, Kimberly. Very thorough and stylish.
Oh, thank you.
And then can't wait for the amazing finish. Can't wait for the next look. Amazing, looks amazing. Yeah, all compliments coming through. Another question here: do you charge the style dependent on accessories?
Not really.
Or change the style? Sorry. Change the style. Do you change the style dependent on accessories?
No, not really. Just I do for like shoots because you want to get the most out of it. So you want to do as many looks as you can, really. And you'll find the photographer and the stylist will like that as well if you're doing quite a few looks. Just because you don't want to get your portfolio and then they've got all different outfits and then it's just the same style throughout, because you're only going to just be able to use that one style, really. So what I like to do now is, instead of pulling these out the hair, because they can snag a little bit, even though they say they're anti-snag, they can pull a little bit. So I just get my scissors. She's trusting me, and just rock it backwards and forwards, and then they'll just snap. The hair's still attached.
I saw that hair fall out there at the back.
Ah, shut up. You're supposed to be on my side, don't tell her.
I'm the mirror, mate. I'm telling you what I'm seeing here. The hair's falling out. I'm joking.
Bad. So, so I'm just going to work this hairspray just throughout now. You can see it's coming out really nice and easy. It's still got a nice gloss throughout there. It's a really nice product to work with, but also I think because this brush has got a mixture of bristles, so with the natural bristle and the nylon bristle, it's more detangling, so it's going to work better throughout the hair. Just turn you a little bit. Thanks. Oh, this hair, it's not fair. So nice. So that's all out now. She thinks she will have to wash it. Wait till we get the glitter on it.
So the glitter's coming out then?
Maybe.
I reckon we do a vote. If we get 15 people say yes to the glitter, they should do it.
All I've got is like a glitter spray, but I mean, any glitter's better than no glitter, isn't it? Glitter. Perfect. So that's all out now. no tangles or anything. Everything's gone. So this is my favourite look. I've been super excited to show you all this. This is more like a really editorial sort of look. So you're not going to get your clients probably requested this, but you never know. They might like it. But it is something that you can use for wedding season or proms as well. So I'm not going to say too much because I'll show you. So what I'm going to do now is just going to get a little bit of a water spray. I'm just going to spritz that just at the root. So that's going to help me manipulate the hair. So I can get a really nice clean part in. And then I want my tail comb. And then what I like to do is, so to get a nice straight even part in, I like to look at the nose for guidance and then bang in the middle between the eyes just to get a really nice clean part. This is hard because I ain't got a mirror, so we can try get it even. Perfect.
As the mirror on the wall right now, that was pretty good, mate. You've done well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Straight.
Yeah.
So, and what I'm gonna, is it straight? Let's have a look. Slightly off. Teeny bit.
We're getting a lot of people say yes to the glitter, more glitter, more glitter, more glitter from Ryan. Yes. Yvonne has said, are you seeing purple plum colour hair by Kymbereley? Are we seeing purple plum hair colour by Kymbereley?
Pardon?
Are we seeing purple plum hair colour by Kymbereley? That's what it says. That's what I'm just reading it as it's written. Yvonne, but I can't say the last name. I'm going to try it for you, but please forgive me. Beck Villek.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, this plum. So I coloured her hair yesterday, and I usually put, so it's a Majorelle 420, so I normally put that on my front of the hair, but this one's got it more than me because I had to use my last tube of colour on her hair. Priorities. Fuming.
How many tubes of colour do you go through on one application for Crystal?
2. So it's not too bad actually. 2. You wouldn't think, like, really. So I'm just going to get you to turn again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to section it into 3 parts. So I'm going to do a section either side from the front to the ear, and then we're just going to get rid of all this back section. So I'll do this side first, and then we'll do that side just so you can see that in a minute. So.
What's your favourite go-to styling tool?
I do love a tong. I really like tongs just to give it a nice bit of bounce or a bit of volume. I'm always doing waves in the salon. I feel like people are always wanting a bit of a curl. Or maybe that's just me telling them that they're having a curl. Just because I feel like the colour sits nicer.
Yeah, you can help me out. I have a member of staff called Lorna. It's good for, we get on like an house on fire. But she loves curling with straighteners, and it drives me up the wall when we've got every shape and barrel and size and everything in the salon. Why would you curl with straighteners? So go on, I'll take this one. Is she right or is she wrong?
Yeah, but do you know, straighteners, they are a game changer. They do give really nice curls. A lot of these... What?
So don't be sticking up for her.
Yeah, but I am seeing a lot more curls now, and I see a beautiful wave, and I think, oh wow, how have they created that look? And then I'll have a look, and they're always straighteners. But I do love that Gemma Collins when she's like, only weirdos use straighteners to curl hair.
Well, they're not called curls, are they?
When I buy them, I'm like, no, don't go to the straighteners. You're a weirdo.
Do you use the wand? What brand of wands and straighteners do you use?
So Cloud9s I always use. But in the salon we've got Cloud9s, but I've got Cloud9s, I've got GHDs, but tongs I really love Babyliss. I just feel like because of the ceramic coating and stuff, they just glide through the hair a lot better. It's got a technology so it doesn't slip as well throughout the hair. So now I've got that sectioned off into 3 sections. I'm going to be doing the back section first. You can still see that all right and everything? All good? Cool. So I'm going to be doing a low ponytail. Again, we're going to use the trick of getting it to look up just so it keeps it nice and neat in the nape. For this, I'm going to use my bungee cord just so you can see the effect of how it's going to get it.
I'm very excited to see this one. I just want to give a shout out as well because I spoke to a lady called Emmy today on the streets of Burnley as I did my hour walk. And she was in a garden. She's an actual student of hair within a college that's nearby called Nelson and Cole College. And they make their students watch Hair Socials live every night.
Oh, brilliant!
So that's Saks and the college.
That is brilliant, though, because it's the only way, like, it's the best way to learn. Because the amount of talent that you've had on here already is so good. But that's what I always find because everybody's such different learners to look up. Everyone's such different learners. So I learn better by watching people rather than pen and paper. I'm not the best academically, but you can show me anything on a YouTube thing and I'll just try and recreate that. So I think that's really good that they're doing that. And it's just good to watch, just to pick up little tips and tricks really as well.
Well, I'm 14 years in and I'm watching you now learning tips, and as I've watched every single live, all 22 lives I've watched and picked up tricks. Even in my own live, I watch back and think, oh, I could have said that better and I could have done this better. There's always learning.
Yeah, but everyone's going to be like critical of the work and stuff. But it's all a learning thing. You're only going to get better the more you do something and watch something, and yeah. So
do you want me to put some pressure on you?
No pressure.
Do you want me to put pressure on you?
Oh, God.
You said you wanted to be done for the NHS clap at 8, which means you've got 7 minutes.
7?
Yeah. Hair up in 7 minutes with Kymbereley Holmes live, number 22.
I can probably do that. So I'm just using the bungee cord now. Now he's making me rush. So I've wrapped that around 3 times. And you start underneath just to get that hook in there so it's nice and secure. So you can see that ain't budging, that ain't going anywhere. And because she's looked up, she's not got the volume here and it's not baggy as well. It's just kept it really nice and flat throughout the hair. So I'm just spinning on a little bit of an angle. What I'm going to do here is a Dutch braid. And what I want to do is follow the curve of the head. So I'm just going to be going on a little bit of angle and swooping that round. So I will just get a little bit off the hairspray again, just so get all these fly away.
Amanda from Saks Apprenticeships, that's Saks, S-A-K-S, said this video will be getting shared and lots of mind maps created.
Lots of what, sorry?
Lots of mind maps will be created. I presume she means like head maps, like mapping of where you want to do it. So much knowledge and tips shared from everyone, no matter how many years of experience.
That's good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to split into 3 sections, and we're going to be going under. So it's going to be Dutch braid, so it's going to be standing up. So as I go get my sections, I'm just going to be adding a little bit of hair each side just to build that up and just keep it nice and secure. This is really hard because one of my nails has fallen off, so what I normally section with is no longer, but it's working. So you can just see now, I don't want to be going straight down, I'm just following the curve of the head. So I want to be going away from the face and then just adding a little bit each time. As well, if you want to have some little softer bits, now's the time just to sort of pull them out. Just because when they're already plaited in, it's going to be a lot harder to get them out. Is this angle okay? Can you see all right? Perfect.
Yeah, that's better, yeah. Do you go under to the middle and then add more and then under to the middle again?
Yeah, so I just get a little bit from left to right, but now I've come to this little bit, I'm just going to be adding from the right, just because I've run out of hair here. But that way it's gonna sit better because it's more swooping round. So you can see there's no hair coming from here. I just keep adding it, and then what I'm going to do is just going to plait it all the way to the very end. So this is just creating a little bit of a base for what I'm going to be doing. So I'm just going to plait that all the way to the bottom. And then what I'm going to be doing with this is just wrapping it around the ponytail, just to keep that nice and secure and just in place there. Is it time for the clap?
I've got so many jokes there. Yeah, it's 3 minutes. 3 minutes, Kim.
3 minutes. So I'm just wrapping that round now, just to secure that in place. And then I just want to just get a curvy grip. Thank you. Just going to secure that just into place there. And then we're going to repeat the same on the opposite side. So that's nice and secure. So I'll turn you this side.
I think we should do a Hair Socials clap on the wall instead. We'll get everybody to clap in the living room or wherever they're doing it, but they can clap on the wall to the Heart's Content.
I need my pan and spoon.
Have you got a pan and spoon? Are you one of them?
Yeah. Absolute mad woman that come out of the. I hang out the window with my little pan. So I'm just adding a little bit more around this side. You don't want it too symmetric, so I like just a little bit more throughout here, and then I've just done a little bit less around there. So I'm just going to repeat the same as what I've done on the opposite side, the Dutch braid. Spritz it again just to keep that nice and secure. Ah! It's not going to happen, is it? I'm on my own. Right, so we're just braiding that just throughout, and then I am adding hair from both sides, but when I run out of hair on this side, I'm just going to stop. Let's get that little baby hairs there as well. So again, I'm just pulling it away from the face, just to give it a little bit more of like a sweeping effect. That's it. So I've got all the hair in now. So I'm just going to be braiding it just to the very bottom. Oh, I wish I could do it in 2 minutes.
Right, Kim, we've got a suggestion from Amanda at Saks. She's saying, why don't we just leave it running for a few minutes? Why don't you put that braid in, everyone run outside, come back here, meet at 2 minutes past, leave the live running.
Yeah, perfect. That's perfect with me. Right, I can take my phone out and show you all my neighbours, but don't want to get too close.
If everybody presses share now, we'll all run back, and then hopefully when we get back here, the claps and there will be double the audience.
Yeah.
Oh, the claps are on, mate. Go on, have a go on clap.
Better get clapping, Crystal. I'm clapping. I'll put this in and then I'll clap. That's there. It's a firework. Woo! We've got fireworks round our end.
Come on, I'm clapping it over. Everyone, clap on the wall, clap it over. Let's get it done. Come on, up the NHS. And Care is his own brand now. Come on, up the Care as well.
Pardon?
Care have made their own brand now, haven't they? It's NHS and then Care is another brand now they've made.
Oh, really? I can't believe how fast it's gone.
We said this at the beginning. You said, I don't know if I could do it for an hour. I'm like, honestly, an hour will go in no time.
And he did like how will I talk for an hour?
Daryl Starkey is said, Kim, do you have any plans for competition work this year? Or did you have any plans? I was thinking there's more to the point.
I did. Well, I entered the L'Oreal Colour Trophy, got through for the regionals, and then obviously with all what's happened, they took it straight to the grand final. And I was so gutted because I'd got a model, dyed all her hair, been practicing for absolute months because I went to the Colour Congress and they said the secret to them winning. Who was it now? Was it Sinead? Can't remember this. Who was it? Can you remember the winner from last year of L'Oreal Colour Trophy?
I can't off the top of my head, but I'll Google it now. One sec.
But anyway, they were saying the secret to them winning is being like super prepared and things like that. So I took it all on board, and then this happens. But you know, it's one of them things. But I do love competition work, and I'm trying to do as much as I can. But it's just with the uncertain times, we don't really know like what's going to happen or anything now. But yeah, but Daryl is absolutely smashing it. He's so good at what he does, and he should definitely go for like as much competition work as he can. Well, anyone should, because it's just really good to get yourself out there. It's scary, but it's such a good, like, you know, you went a Colour Trophy, don't you?
Yeah, I do the Colour Trophy. I've got a confession for you in a minute, but just to put it back in, I can't believe I forgot this, but it's Sinead Kelly that won.
Oh yeah, I thought it was.
But yeah, I'm disappointed at myself for getting the name there, sorry. Yeah, I enter every single year, and 10 years in a row I've been a regional finalist. This year, for circumstances that I won't bore people with, I didn't get round to my photo shoot in time. I only do one big shoot a year, and it's usually the Colour Trophy shoot. And I didn't get round to doing it in time. So I thought, do you know what? I've been in it 10 years in a row. It's well easy. I'll just send off the best image I've done myself within this last 12 months. And I didn't get through.
You kidding?
I didn't get through. The first time I've never got through. And how much I underestimated it served me right as well.
I was going to say that's a bit of a kick up the arse, and next year won't do that again. But it's one of them things you just never know. You don't know who the judges are, what they're looking for, things like that. But to be part of it is still a massive achievement. So yeah, you're only going to get better. So next year you can absolutely smash it.
Do you know what? I will win this one year. Well, I'll win the men's image.
Yes, the goal. That is the one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just braiding it right to the bottom. Just doing a normal standard braid now. And then I've just got an elastic where I'm just going to secure that in place. Braid and that.
I was just sending you a picture saying hello, Daddy's my old friend.
My brother's watching. He just sent us a picture with a quote, "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
It's us.
Freak.
I don't know. I'm just so Can you see it?
No.
Oh, never mind. It's just us.
Never mind. So now that's all braided. This is where it gets exciting. So I've got my little tendrily bits. I'm just going to like do a little bit of a curl with them after. So this is going to be a base now. So what I want to create is a flower crown. My inspiration from this has come from the Dolce & Gabbana Spring Summer collection, where it was all tropical prints and they all had real flowers in the hair. And it's just really nice to incorporate hair accessories and flowers. And it's a great time now because in the gardens there's a lot of spring flowers blooming. We've got a blossom tree in our garden, so today I took some cuttings from that, and I got a bunch of flowers yesterday with roses, so that's what I'm going to be working with, lots of roses and blossoms. So first I'm going to start off with this nice baby pink one. So this is really good for weddings or prom hair, or again shoots. You want to leave the stalk quite long just so you get a curvy grip, and then you're just going to run that curvy grip just throughout there, and that's just going to secure it in place. And then what we're going to do is do that again. See where you want to place it, and then probably the best thing to do is put it in the hair first and then work it over the stalk. That's just going to secure it more. So now, I'm going to work with the roses first, and then I'm going to build that up. to be careful with real flowers as well, not to overdo it with the hairspray and stuff, because you don't want the flowers to wilt. And you don't want it too set as well, so the best thing to do is just sort of build it up and sort of stand back and then see how it's looking really. But I'm just going to start off with these as the base, and then we'll get a bit of greenery and work that throughout there.
Sorry, did you say these were real flowers you picked?
Yeah, I've gone
Wow.
for some real flowers. She was not keen on the idea at first, but then we had a little practice of it earlier and it looked really nice. Nice little boho summery sort of vibe.
Is there any plants left in your garden?
Well, we did sort of like ransack the lot. So I'm just going to build that up there. I'm just going to get a curvy brush again. Have you ever worked with real flowers in the hair, anybody? Like, is it something that you've done before or done for brides? It's a nice one for like wedding season as well. Even proms.
Yeah, it's not something I do a lot of pin-ups, but the last pin-up, incidentally, she did have like a trail of flowers in a braid similar to your style, and it just makes it live. And she was doing a photo shoot actually, I think.
Was that Megan?
No, it was a lady in my salon. She came in, and she was doing her own photo shoot of her. I don't know whether she was the model or she was doing something for a particular reason, but she came to us for the hairdoing, and she had flowers put in it. It looked really good.
Oh, nice. This is really nice, a bit of gypsophilia, because this is just going to fill it out a little bit more. You all right there?
A bit of what?
Gypsophilia! God, Simon! Don't you know your stuff?
There's always one comment out of you that sticks in my mind, and prior to this it was Marc Jacobs. Now it's gypsophilia.
Oh God, I knew that was coming. So, when I was looking for my inspiration, I was actually going to talk about Marc Jacobs. So basically, it's I don't know what it's called, a joke basically of when I was on the ID team. And we was with Simon Shaw, he was teaching us education on presenting, and we had to talk about our inspiration and our looks. And my inspiration came from Marc Jacobs, but I think the way I was saying it, was I not saying it right or something? And I'm not joking. That guy made me say Marc Jacobs about 100 times in front of the whole class, to the point I was known as Marc Jacobs. So embarrassing.
It was just, like you said, it was the repetitiveness and the Yorkshire accent just absolutely made it pop. But I think gypsophilia is my new favourite now.
Gypsophilia, or another word for it is baby's breath.
That's definitely worse.
Yeah, that's so this is my tree from my garden. Sawed it down. So, it's a bit dead. So
can we have a picture of your garden after this, please, and see what's left?
Poor things, not the greatest. So I'm just going to be adding some greenery now, and it's just going to break it up a little bit. You don't want it to look too heavy for out there. What is everyone thinking? Are they liking it? Are they thinking it's a bit mad or like?
I think we're all excited to see it because at the minute we can just see a crown developing, so we want to see like the whole picture of the side profile and things. But we'll save it. We'll build the tension.
Okay. Could they be like, oh, that gypsophilia? Have you never heard of it though?
Yeah, I've heard of it. It's just I don't know. It just made me laugh. I didn't know that was what it was called, but I've heard the word.
No, yeah. Another good trick for this is if you've got like any hair embellishments, so you can get like pieces of earrings, and work them in between as well. So you've got a little bit of like a jeweled embellishment that works really nice. But I just thought with the greenery, it just breaks it up a little bit. You don't want too much though, because you don't want it to like just become one massive thing on the head, really. But I love all the blossom trees and things at the minute. These are what these are, just little pale blossoms.
Here's one for you, Kim. Katie Fallon has commented, love it, very Frida Kahlo.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at really for my inspiration, Frida Kahlo.
Now, I have never heard of Frida Kahlo, but before I read that comment out, I thought, I'm going to Google this before I make a fool of myself. And yeah, a Mexican painter known for her many self-portraits and works inspired by the nature.
Yeah, she's amazing, and she's not afraid to express herself through her artwork and things like that as well.
Some great imagery.
She's massively famous.
I've never heard of her, mate. Not gonna lie.
I hope you're learning a lot here today, Simon.
Every day's a learning day.
Gypsophilia and yeah, that's her. This has a face. We're not really doing it to that inspiration where it's literally coming down her face that she can't see. That's what she thinks.
You've even got greenery in the backdrop there on the product stand. Have you got do you work in a forest or have you got a garden centre behind you?
Frida! As you can see, I love flowers. A garden centre, that's a bit tight, Simon. Yeah, so it's coming together nicely. So I'm just going to stand back just so I can get it from a full angle. So I can see she's getting a bit top heavy now. So I'm just going to build it up a little bit more to around these sides. Get some nice bright flowers. Oops. And she's back. So I'm going to go in for a nice purple just to break it up throughout there.
Alex Watkins said that you found inspiration from anything.
Yeah, just nature and artwork and everything, really. I remember seeing something similar to this on a Dior perfume photo shoot and thought, oh, wow, that's really cool. I wonder if they've used actual real flowers in there. And then... yeah, just sort of come from there. And again, it's always something I've wanted to try. But sometimes it can be hard when you're doing photo shoots because with the stylists, they've got a set idea of how they want it and stuff already. But yeah, it's just nice just to do my own thing and make it up as I go along, really. So we're going to get your favourite product back again. So I'm just going to break some of this off and I'm going to slot a little bit in there just to break it up a little bit. I can see just a little bit in there. Red that. It's good because you've got the plait in there, so it should keep it nice and secure. Slot it in. And then you can start to like drape it a little bit more onto the face now as well, just to build it up a little bit. So I'm just going to add a little bit more just around these sides, and then I'm just going to work with the plait around the back and then wrap it up. But if anyone's got any questions or any more about inspiration or anything like that.
Somebody called Nicola Saul has said, Kymbereley, are you originally from meaning Bridlington, I guess?
Oh, Shitlington, yes.
Are you from? She said, I think I recognise you. Nicola Saul.
Who is it?
Nicola Saul. S-A-U-L.
Ah. Yes, so I'm originally from Bridlington. I did all my training there. And then I met my husband from Leeds. And then he's the reason why I moved over here. But it's definitely the best thing I ever did because it was always like a dream for me to come and work at big salons and do competition work. And coming over to Leeds has given me these opportunities working for like 2 really good salons, and all the education that I've had and the knowledge from them. So yeah, it's been brilliant, and I love Leeds, and I've really picked up the accent now. So if you're from Bridlington and you move to Leeds or anywhere in West Yorkshire, you get classed as a Wessie. So when I go back home now, everyone's like, "Oh, she's a proper Wessie." So
I've only ever been Bridlington once, and I got a speeding ticket on the way home.
Oh,
I actually did. True story.
it wasn't through Howden, was it?
No, it was on 62. Do you remember when they first ever started the average speed checks? I got it on there. I was doing 60 in the 50.
Oh, Simon.
Oh, bad that, innit? But guess what I was doing in Bridlington?
Eating donuts, riding donkeys.
No, I was it. I've never even heard of Bridlington prior to this, and I've told you before, Anna, that my brother's an Elvis tribute.
Have you?
Oh, well, he is, mate, and he does Elvis competitions, and basically they have like a massive Elvis Masters there every year.
Oh, is it at the spa?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Has he done well?
Yeah, he won it. He won European Masters champion then, but that's my only experience of Bridlington, so I have fond memories of it.
The spa. I used to do a lot of dance when I was younger, and that's where we'd always do our dance competitions at the spa. That's the only theatre they've got there, but it's cool because it brings the people here and stuff. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to get the braid and I'm just going to wrap it around there, just to give it almost like a crown sort of effect. So I'm just going to pin this in place. And again, just this little bit. And then I'm just going to pin that as well, just from this corner. And then what you can do is with the bobble, there obviously you don't want it on show. So what you can do is just get another flower, and you can just work that in just to hide that.
You got a massive compliment here. Claire Westwick has said it's lovely. My sister-in-law is supposed to be getting married in Rhodes for a beach wedding in September. Hopefully it's still going ahead, but this would look lovely and not too overpowering.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. It's quite simple, but the effect of it is quite stunning. Because sometimes hair up can be like a bit too done, and I feel like now people want it a lot more elegant, almost like romantic. Something like this is great because you've got it from all angles. You've got the detail around the back, and with the braid you get the nice structure throughout there, because that's what you've got to think with wedding hair. You've got 360 sort of look, and then even with the photographer as well. So you've got this nice bit of structure, and then around the front you've got all that detail as well. But yes, so I'm just going to quickly just get my straighteners, just do a slight bend throughout there, and then I'm almost done.
Nicola said it's great to see a Brid girl doing so well. She has Nicola's Hair Studio on Marshall Avenue.
Nicola's Hair Studio. I feel like I know that.
Yeah, on Marshall Avenue. So that's what she said.
That's where I was born. That's where I used to live, on Marshall Avenue. It's such a small world.
And interestingly, she's later on gone to say, I'm a Wessie. She's originally from Leeds.
Ah, that's usually what happens. All the Wessies move to Bridlington because they love it so much. Like when I told my clients that I moved from Bridlington, they thought I was mad.
Yeah, true. I love Leeds.
Why would you do that? But I do love Leeds.
Jenny Murphy O'Neill says her hair looks like an Elvis Hawaiian film. I can imagine what that looks like. I'll Google that. But yeah, I think that's a massive compliment anyway.
Well, I'll take that. That's good. Thank you.
Alice Watkins, so talented, Kim. We love you. Ryan Euler said, could you carry on with the flowers down the plait?
Yeah, that's another sort of thing we can do as well. So you can work that throughout there.
Good friend of Hair Social says, Holly Watson says, looks beautiful, and lots of flower emojis.
Oh, thanks, Holly. I loved watching hers yesterday. Like, I learnt so much with all the waves and things as well.
I know, I've got a good team on there at the minute. Yvonne said, looks great, Greek goddess style.
That's almost where the inspiration come from, because that's where it originated, Greece.
Is it?
The flower crown. Because when they won awards and things, that's how they'd present them. So that was almost like the trophy. Was it Julius Caesar? He used to wear a flower crown, didn't he? I mean, not as nice as this, but don't know what leaf he. Yeah, so that's a good point, really. So we could, if we wanted to add more flowers, you can do that for out there as well. I just wanted to go for the front, really, just so we've got that full-on look. I didn't want it to be too heavy for out there. But yes, I hope you've enjoyed. I'll just run through it quickly what I've done. So it was super easy. So section the hair into 3 sections. So I've gone straight, a middle part in, straight down the middle, obviously. Section these 2 bits off either side, and I've sectioned it from the front to the ear. And then what I did was got all the back of the hair into a ponytail. Make sure her head was tilt forward so you get it real nice and flat and secure there. And then I've done a Dutch braid either side of the front. What that's done is created a base, so then the flowers got something to hold on to. And then we've plaited that through, wrapped it around just to give it a really nice crown effect, and then just work the flowers for out there, just to give it a really nice high fashion finish. So I hope you've all enjoyed. Thank you so much to everyone for watching me, and I hope you've learned something, and thank you so much to Simon as well for giving me this opportunity. And yeah, fab, thank you.